Hey, did you hear about that government that hardly speaks to the media and goes out of its way to quiet scientists when it comes to speaking out about its findings that could mean protecting the citizens' safety and the climate itself? I know what you're thinking. Canada, eh? Well, I'd like to quickly quote here from a website which sources The Guardian from the United Kingdom. Protecting the interests of large oil companies, Harper has fought global efforts to deal with climate change. In 2009, he cut science research funding by $138 million and imposed limitations on scientists at Environment Canada, requiring that they obtain permission to do interviews and often screened their responses. The result is that Canadian media coverage of climate change science has been reduced by 80%, and this was written back in 2011. His efforts here have been so destructive that in 2009, prominent politicians and scientists called for Canada to be removed from the Commonwealth. The last time this mark of shame was used, it was against South Africa while it was still under racist apartheid rule. Well, that's not the only time that we have an example of Harper trying to quiet, scientists standing up for truth, science, reason. Aren't these things valuable to society? Data itself. I mean, canceling the long-form census. I mean, don't we want to know who and what the society is that we are taking care of? I mean, data is useful, and that's a fact. So I'd like to speak about a couple of specific examples quickly here. In 2008, we had Luc Pomerleau, and you'll have to excuse my French, but fuck censorship. Anyways, he was a biologist working for the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, and he discovered that a pesticide residue was increasing on our fruits and vegetables. Okay? And when he discovered that the plan was to actually change the regulations so that this could increase 100 times in order to meet the mere standards of the U.S., he was fired for giving that important information to us about our food that we're going to be eating. Okay, again, if this were happening, somewhere else in the world, it would be like, yep, the world sure is screwed up. But the fact that I feel like I didn't know this until I was researching about these issues that I had the idea of, but to find these kinds of examples is just shocking and appalling, to be honest. Another example is Linda Keane. Also in 2008, she was the president of the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission, and she reported on this aging plant, this nuclear plant, that had a risk factor of over 1,000 times the international average. Seems like a pretty reasonable thing for someone in charge of nuclear safety to do, but for that she was fired in 2008. I mean, what kind of system could possibly be a good system in which when people come forward with important data, we punish them? I mean, if we silence our scientists, we're walking around not only with their mouths covered, but with our eyes covered. We need data, we need information, we need science and reason. We need reality. We need to access reality. It's that simple. Without doing those things, we cannot possibly run a society well, at least not here in reality. Okay, so now what? Well, election's coming up really soon. October 19th is very soon. I say we vote strategically. I'm not a huge fan of any of the major players. I don't think anybody's a hero. I think there's a lot of career politicians. But in this kind of situation, I say we vote for the lesser of the evils because they're far less evil. And yeah, I say let's vote strategically and get somebody in power that represents a more compassionate Canada.